Hello everyone, in this video I will do an interview as assigned by Sir Zaldi and my partner in this interview is Nurfattaa Bru Sembiring. So in order to not prolong the time, let's do it right now. Hello Tata,
Oh,
may
hi.
I know what book have you read and what is it about?
So basically, this book, or The Midnight Library, is about a young woman called Nora, and she has been struggling with her life, and it got even worse after she lost her job and cat. And she couldn't bear anymore and decided to die. But the story doesn't end there, and after attempting to end her life, Nora wakes up in a place called the Midnight Library, which exists between life and death. And there, she got an opportunity to decide how she wants to live by trying again all her life in every possible life.
What a cool quote of the day! And by the way, how did you feel when you finished the book?
Oh, I feel relief, and finally I can finish the book. Besides, I got new insight and motivation too from the dialogues. And for example, You Could Do Anything, Live Anywhere by Mrs. Om. And those dialect got me motivated. It means I can do anything I want in my life, right? Because oftentimes I find myself worrying about something that I will do too much.
Hand the P. Those are the very best words in the world. Then, who was your favorite character? Can you explain, please?
Well, my favorite character is Mrs. She's a librarian at Nora's previous school and also Nora's guide in the Midnight Library. Odd, isn't it? The Midnight Library exists between life and death, which means only people on death's door can get in. But she's doing fine in her life and do her own things in school library. Anyway, the reason why I chose her is because she always help and guide Nora every time and everywhere. Her words and the way she thinks enlightened Nora. And she's such a wise person and I love that.
Wow, is it very clear and complete? So, what was the most interesting part of the book?
Okay, now for the most interesting part of the book is when Mrs. Elm asked Nora to, oh, pardon, when Mrs. Elm sent Nora to the life where Nora's cat still alive. Well, actually, Nora didn't ask for, I want the life where I can play with Volt. Volt is her cat's name, or, well, Volt still alive. Nora asked for the life where I kept Volt indoors. And as a quick explanation, the reason why Nora said indoor is because her cat died on the side of the road. Okay, next. She went into that life, but her body was flooded with sadness and confusion because Fold was under the bed, indoor, but wasn't moving. He has died. And after that, Nora back in the Midnight Library with various and confused feeling, but Mrs. Elm calmly explained why it happened. Mrs. Elm knew that Nora blamed herself for being a bad owner, like the cat died on the street alone. And Nora always think that she should have kept Fold indoors so he didn't die. But the problem is, whether Fold in bedroom or on the side of the road, he will die sooner or later. And Mrs. Elm soon explained that Fold has congenital disease. So clearly it's not Nora's fault. So why Nora blame herself? Indirectly, Mrs. Elm tells us that sometimes regret aren't based on fact at all. It's just us who assume, right? And that's why I love this part. It reminds me to not overthinking and blame myself every time something bad happens.
What a best part! I started to admire the character of Mrs. Elm from now on. How wise he is. And what did you think about when you read the book?
Well, honestly, I kind of confused with this question. I think this question asks us about what do we think about when we read the book, such as the answer such as find new vocabulary, and then try to remember it, make visualization of the scenario, try to predict what will happen next, or feel the confusion or anger or happiness of the character. If so, those are my answers.
I think so, and I agree with your explanation then. We are in the last questions. What you recommended this book? Can you explain?
Definitely, this book is superb. Lots of wise words you can find here. If you ever feel tired or confused with your life, what new perspective of life, you can read this one. And also, it's not that hard to read it, even though there are some new vocabularies that might be confuse you, but that's not a problem, I guess. Beginner can read this one.
Great. Thank you for the opportunity that time you give me so that I can interview with you by giving meaningful time. In addition, I'm interested in being able to move forward in the next process. Thank you, Tata.
Well, thank you for having me.
And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.